Profitability is all everyone talks about. How do you become profitable? How long does it take to become profitable? What's the best profitable strategy? There's a whole bunch of different things. And if you're not profitable, there is one reason. And I can almost guarantee it is this reason. I've put a few things on here that we're going to go through. We've got possibly, probably, and almost definitely of why you are not profitable. We're going to speed run the two left columns and focus on the almost definitely one. I'm going to give a few examples of what helped me become a profitable day trader from a year and a half of having no experience at all, going all the way up, blowing so many accounts to then eventually getting payouts and covering all of the losses. And we're going to go over that today because I can almost guarantee it is not what you expect. First thing to understand is what actually is profitability, because people get this so confused. I see people throw in the term around all the time. All it means is you have earned more money from the markets than you have spent on evaluation challenges. That's it. If you're trading prop firms, which I'm assuming you are, if you have earned more money from the markets from these payouts than you have spent on challenges, then you are a profitable day trader. By definition, you are profitable, right? It could be £1. You could be in profit of £1. You could have spent £1,000 on challenges and got £1,001 in payouts. You're still a profitable day trader. Now, the hardest part is maintaining this, and how do you get to this stage as well? Now, this is a very, very big thing. So we've got a few things here. So possibly the reason why you are not profitable yet is these two kind of tie into each other is technical understanding and strategy, right? It is possible that the reason you're not profitable is because your understanding of what goes on the charts, how liquidity sweeps work, how fair value gaps, whatever strategy you're using, whatever confluence is, it is possible that that is the reason you're not profitable yet. You just don't understand what's going on. You just don't have the experience. That might be the case. It also might be that the strategy, this is quite unlikely, but it might be that the strategy just doesn't work. It might just be you just have a shit strategy. If you've created it yourself or if you've copied it from some guru online that doesn't actually explain or show data as to how it actually works, that might be the reason. It might just be an unprofitable strategy, one that over a long period of time just cannot return more than it loses. And that's completely fine. If that is the case, that's actually the easiest thing to fix. Is finding a profitable strategy is so easy compared to a lot of other things. So that is possibly, I don't think this is the case for you, but this could be the reason you're unprofitable. Then we've got probably, which is a bigger proportion of people fall into this category, which is mostly not enough data and not enough time in the game. So with the not enough data, this is you have a strategy that does work, but you don't really know that it works because you don't have the data. You don't have years and years of backtested data, which doesn't predict the market, doesn't predict the future, of course, but it gives you a very good indication of how the strategy works on a long enough time period, which can in turn help you become profitable. Then we've got not enough time in the game, and that is a pretty brutal one. This does affect quite a lot of people, and it affected me for quite a while, is you're doing the right thing, but you just haven't had enough time in the game. This is the hardest part, is when you're doing the right thing, but you just haven't had enough time. The probabilities just haven't played out yet, and that's completely fine. Then we've got not following your rules, which is another big one, which is maybe you have this strategy, you have time in the game and all this stuff, but you're just not following your rules. It might be that you revenge trade, it might be that you overtrade, it might be that you haven't set out exactly how much you're going to risk. Then when you're in a bit of drawdown, you risk less. When you're winning, you risk more, all of this sort of stuff that can completely fuck up your chances of becoming a profitable trader. And then finally, we have unrealistic expectations. This is another big one as well, is people think that you can become profitable very quickly. And you see people online saying, I became profitable in 3 months, right? It is true. You can. If you buy one challenge and you pass it and you get a payout, you are a profitable day trader. That could have happened in the span of a week for sure. But for long-term profitability, earning consistently more than what you're spending, that takes a little bit more time than people realize. There's no point. No one wants to be the guy that makes £10 in profit. We're all here to make a serious amount of money from day trading. So it doesn't matter whether you're a profitable day trader over one account and got £10 additional profit. We're talking about a serious difference in the amount of money you've spent and the amount of money you've earned. And that comes from a lot of back-end work of planning things that we're going to talk about with this almost definitely on the financial situation as well. It comes with a lot of that and a massive learning curve, realizing that the strategy is not the most important thing. There is a whole nother area of DCAing, back-end plans, following probabilities. There's a whole bunch of different shit that you need to learn. And that is a very, very big learning curve for a lot of beginner day traders. And these expectations can really fuck you up as well. If you're watching a lot of TikTok or a lot of YouTube on trying to learn how to day trade, if you're a beginner day trader, assuming you are if you're watching this can really fuck you up because you don't have a realistic amount of time. Because it is true, some people make tons of money within the first week or the first month, and some people it takes a year. It took me a year of doing the same thing every day that I knew was the right thing, but I just didn't make any money yet. It took me a year of that before I got my first payout and then managed to scale it. So that expectations can really, really affect you, especially if you're on TikTok all the time and people are just selling the lifestyle and all this stuff. It can really, really affect you mentally. And now we're on to the big one that almost definitely, this is one that I can guarantee almost 100% is the reason you're not profitable. And it's one that no one talks about. No one talks about this at all. And it is your financial situation outside of trading. What I mean by that is how much money are you getting in from your job, your side hustle, whatever it is, the thing that is funding trading. How much money are you getting in per month? And of that lump sum, how much of that are you putting into trading? I can guarantee you it's not enough. I can 100% guarantee you it's not enough. If you take however much money you can put in, maybe it's £500 a month you can put into trading, you divide that by 4, so one for every single week, and then you need to buy a new account every single week. And this is the process of DCAing, which is dollar cost averaging. And if you're a beginner day trader that hasn't heard about this at all, this is going to be a very baffling concept, but it's one that I can 100% guarantee you will lead to much better results. The process of DCAing is buying a new account over different time periods, right? If you have a massive data sheet of loads of wins and losses, if you buy a new account at different points across that whole data sheet, there will be times when you land on a winning period and you pass that account very quickly. If you just bought one account and you stayed on that account, if you go on a losing period, you come down to here, and you go on a winning period, you come back up to here. If you're buying a new account every single time, when this one's down here and the winning period brings it back up to break even, the fresh account is going into profit when you land on the winning streaks. All trading is winning streaks and losing streaks. You look at the data sheet, if you're journaling, which you should be, you will see there's just a bunch of wins, bunch of losses, a bunch of wins, bunch of losses, maybe some break evens if you have that in your strategy. But for the most part, the accounts that you buy fresh when you go on a winning streak, this is the most important part because that's what's going to actually allow you to pass the accounts. So you need to be spending more money. And if you can't afford to do that, you've got a few options. The most brutal one, but probably the most accurate one, is just get more money coming in. Get another job, work more hours, get a pay rise, get a promotion, get a side hustle, doesn't matter. Get more money coming in so that you can in turn put more money into trading. You need way more money going into trading. The absolute minimum, and I mean genuinely bare minimum, is £30 a week, or $40 a week it is, for a 10k ACG account. Right, if you use the code 10k440, I'll put it on screen right now, this will get you a 10k ACG account for $40, which is around £30. This ROI is ridiculous. I'll put some proof on screen right now. You buy one of these for £30, I've got £500 payouts, £400 payouts from this. The return on investment for this is like 15 times or something ridiculous. The ROI on 10Ks is fucking insane. And now you can imagine when you scale it with the 50Ks and the 100Ks and 200Ks, how much more you get. And this is why the financial situation is so, so important. The more money you put in, the more accounts you can buy, the more accounts you have, the more accounts you're going to pass, the more accounts you pass, the more accounts you're going to get payouts, and those payouts are going to cover whatever the fee was. If you look at all the accounts, maybe it's like £500 for a 100k account. If you get a payout on a 100k account, it's going to be thousands of pounds worth of payout. That is going to cover so many blown challenges, and it's the same with the 10Ks, even more with the 10Ks because they are so dirt cheap. Any payout is going to cover so many different accounts, and that is how you scale. But it all comes down to putting more money in right at the start. This is the most important part, is put more money into trading when you first begin. It's something I wish I knew a little bit earlier because I was a bit stingy with the DCAing right at the start. I didn't put too much money in, but I know that if I put more money in, I would have landed on better probabilities with fresh accounts. There's been a lot of times where I've DCA'd really hard and they've all lost, and I've been like, fuck, this isn't going well. I need to stop DCAing. But then you go on the winning streak and all those accounts that are in drawdown come back to break even. You're thinking, damn, you're kicking yourself. If I just bought some fresh accounts now, they would have passed. And that's where the consistency comes in. That's where I say do it once a week. Once a week is a good ballpark base point to start. If you can, you should do multiple times a week. So for me, I buy a new 10k every single week, and then I buy a 50k every couple weeks usually, and then dotted in and around some bigger accounts, and futures is a little bit different. But this is kind of what I go for, is minimum once a week, and this helps you so, so much. But it's a point that I don't see anyone talking about. A lot of people love to focus on the strategy, blame the strategy for everything. If you're not profitable, it's the strategy. And I'll tell you exactly why. It's because they sell the strategy. The people that you see online that are claiming that your strategy is broken is because they sell a strategy of their own, and that's how they make money. Not a lot of people talk about the back-end plan of DCAing consistently, your approach to funded accounts, your risk, your RR return, you know, the financial situation of how much you should put in, all of this stuff. No one talks about this shit at all because you can't sell that. If I started a course and said, I'm going to teach you everything about how to buy funded account, no one's going to buy that shit. You can't sell that at all, but you can give it away for free. Whereas the strategy, a lot of people like to gatekeep and they want to hide it behind this paywall that you have to pay for to unlock half the strategy and all this shit. The trading space is very, very toxic when it comes to this gatekeeping side of things. But no one talks about this this financial situation side of things and how much money you should put in. And that is so, so important. This is genuinely the reason I think a lot of people aren't profitable. So what are you actually going to do with this information? I've just told you exactly the reason you're not profitable. It's because of your finances. What are you actually going to do? What are you going to take away? I'm going to tell you right now, you need to be buying more accounts, first of all. At the absolute bare minimum, £30 a week, I need you to decide how much money you can put into trading realistically. And I mean after essential bills. If you are serious about this and you want to make money, you have to be cutting out all the additional shit. You can't be spending loads of money going out drinking, partying, all this shit. You have to get that out of there straight away. Waste of fucking money. Absolute waste of money. There's no ROI on that at all. And if you are serious about doing day trading and getting money from it, you cannot be spending money on that. You have to be allocating more money into trading. I spend like hundreds, if not thousands of pounds per month on evaluations because that is how you have to scale effectively. I know I'm not going to have to do this forever. It's just while I start building it up and put the money into a live account, this is what I do. Right? And you have to be doing something similar. You need to decide how much money you can put in, divide that by 4, put that in every single week, stay consistent, even if you're blowing accounts, doesn't matter. Stay consistent, and that, I think, is how you're going to become profitable.